All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Dimensions podcast. I am your host, Smitty, back with another episode for you guys, man. So today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to a lot of us, man. I know it's something that we all deal with. I personally deal with, have dealt with, deal with it still on occasion to occasion. And that is not being where you want to be in life. Now, more specifically, not being where you want to be in life by a certain age. There's this sort of artificial timeline that we all have, nobody ever sat there and said we need to do XYZ by a certain time. But some people have, some people have parents who say, yeah, hurry up and give me some grandbabies. And, that clock is on you, in different situations like that. But as a whole, there's nothing set in stone that says we have to do X, Y, Z by a certain age in our life. But that pressure, for whatever reason, is on us, especially if you're, I would say 20s to mid 30s, from your 20s to your mid 30s. That just seems like the prime time where you got to figure everything out. You got to figure out, am I going to school? Am I not going to school? Do I finish school? Do I switch my major? Do I do this? Okay, now I got this degree. Is it the one I really wanted? Now I got to go find a job. I got to find a place to live. I want to go on vacation. I want a new car. Do I have kids? I want to get married. And then you have all these plans for yourself, but they may not necessarily be falling through. And that's okay. But what makes it challenging is when you see other people following through with the same plans that you had and they're getting it, and you're not getting it. And you're wondering like, okay, well, me and this person got similar resources. Why are they getting it? And I'm not, there's that titch of jealousy in there, It may come to some people as like, all right, they got it. Now I'm motivated to go get it for myself. And that's true for some people, but a lot of times it comes across as jealousy, and we may not ever acknowledge it outwardly, but inside it could be eating you up, man. I know I've found myself in that space a couple times, man, where like I'm happy for somebody and you don't want to come across like a hater. You don't want to be that one person that's hating on somebody, but there's that titch of jealousy there, and we could be honest about that. I would say for myself, when I graduated from WestCon 2016, right, there was someone I graduated with that from the moment we graduated, everybody else is like, all right, I need my first job out of college. This person, I would say maybe like a month after we graduated to literally maybe last year, 2019, every single post they had was vacations. And it was to the point where me and another person I graduated with that also knew this person, I was like, does this person really have a job? Or like, what do they do? Are they scamming? Are they like, they got an OnlyFans? Like, how are they getting paid? And you never see them post anything about a job. You never see them anywhere in the state of Connecticut. You just, you see them literally vacation every single post. And you're like, yo, where's the funds coming from? Like, whatever job you got, are they hiring? Because I need to be living that life too. And, then I would say a month ago, right, I went out to eat. And I saw that same person who was posting nothing but vacations for years as a server in a restaurant. And that's not to diminish that job, to belittle that job, but it's just, social media is a wild place, because what I saw was someone who went on vacations like every other month, just country to country to country, always out and about, always doing what they wanted to do. And the reality of it was, I was working a job that I probably made more money than them at. And, social media has a way of allowing you to feel a certain way without knowing all the facts behind everything. It's like a highlight tape. You're going to see the good stuff. Not everybody is transparent. Not everybody's telling you how they got what they got. Not everybody's sharing with you the real behind it all, So when you see people posting vacations and everything is always greener on the other side, and they're buying a home, they're having kids, getting married, got a new job, and then there's you still at home with your folks, or then there's you still trying to figure out your life. Don't be discouraged by that. Social media has a huge way of just really playing with your mind. Understand that, anyone who's in their 20s to early 30s, as long as you are taking action steps towards something that you want to do, you're in the right place. You're in the right space, and you're doing the right thing. You don't have to have it all figured out by a certain amount of time. And putting that pressure on yourself is only going to lead you to feeling depressed or frustrated or angry, and waking up every day saying, why not me? Why hasn't it happened for me yet? Why am I not like so-and-so yet? And I see it a lot, not just through my own experiences, but I've seen it with some of my closer friends, where we'll see somebody who may be less popping than us or less whatever than us do something that we wish we could have did, and we'd be like, yo, what are we doing wrong? How did this person do that and we couldn't? Why haven't we figured it out yet? Why we ain't do this yet? And when you live in a state of comparison, you're going to be asking yourself why your entire life. You can't sit here and compare yourself to the next man. And that's challenging, but you were put on this earth to run your own race. You weren't here to do what the person next to you did, or to live the life that someone wanted you to live, or to meet the expectations of your parents or the expectations of anyone else around you. You were put on this earth for your purpose and your purpose alone. And the timeline for you meeting that purpose, stepping into that purpose, and becoming who you were put on this earth to be, doesn't necessarily match up with the timeline of your classmates or of your brother or your sister or your cousin or whoever it may be. You have to continue to run your race and take your steps in your own time, because everybody's barriers are different. Not everybody comes from a place of having a supportive family or having the greatest access to an educational system or any kind of resources around them. So you got to address those things first and overcome that before you can even begin to step into your purpose. And not everybody's lifestyle is the same. Not everybody has that same access, man. So, and not everybody knows what their passion is. You could be 27 still sitting there like, yo, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And, I'm here to tell you that's okay. You may not know exactly what you're here for, what you want to step into, but keep taking the steps and you're going to find it, and it's going to find you. Anything that you were meant to have, you're going to have it. I'm a firm believer in that. And you got to love yourself through the process, man. You can't see these things and begin to get down on yourself. Love yourself through the process, because at the end of the day, when the money's gone, when the people are gone, at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. You can run from people, but you can't run from yourself. You can lie to people, but you can't lie to yourself. You can do a lot of things, but at the end of the day, you got to live with you, and you got to love you. And you got to run this race because it's for you, and you may be able to bless people along the way with your talents, with your gifts, but you got to make sure you're right first, because if you're not right for you, you can't be right for anybody else. And you're not going to be right for anybody else by comparing yourself to the next man and trying to be the next man. It's just not going to work like that. And it really hits you when you're in your 20s, because when you're growing up, especially when you're in like inner cities or even anywhere, honestly, where you're in the same class with people, like elementary school, middle school, high school, everybody is supposed to progress at the same rate. You're supposed to hit all the same milestones at the same time, ideally. You know, some people may stay back, but you're generally in the same pace as everybody else. Everybody's life is progressing at the same pace, you know. So when you get to college and then finish college, now not everybody's life is progressing at the same pace. Even in college, it's a little challenging because it's expensive. People have barriers, different things happen. But that's really when it starts to change from, okay, we're all going through life together at the same rate. We're all experiencing the same things, similar things at the same time, to now, okay, now I got to do this for myself, you know. And once you start seeing someone doing it better than you or faster than you or more efficient than you, now it's like, okay, dang, well, is something wrong with me? Because growing up, I was smarter than this person, or I was cooler than this person, or I was more, I was more gifted, and now all that's done and this person's taking off and I'm not, you know. And that's really when it starts to kick in, that feeling like it's a race and we gotta figure it out. I gotta do this. I gotta compare myself to that person, and don't fall into it. I promise you, it's a trap. You're gonna end up being frustrated, and it's hard, but don't fall into it, man. You know, do not fall into it. The grass is not always greener on the other side. You know, I know plenty of people who come across one way and they life not really like that, you know. It's like when rappers, you know, get on there and be like, yeah, I used to do this and I used to do that, and then people pull a card and you was never really like that. You wasn't really valid in the hood like that. It's like that. You feel me? Like, you may post a lot of designer, or you may post a lot of vehicles, or you may be traveling a lot of places, and then it's all a facade, you know. And then here I am allowing myself to feel like less of a person, or to feel like, you know, I'm doing something wrong because I'm comparing myself to someone who was living a facade, who was living a life that was fake the entire time, you know. So it is more important to focus on those things within, man. Make sure your spirituality's right, your mentals is right. Make sure your family's good. Make sure you good so that you can be good for other people. And don't force something just because you feel like it has to happen by a certain time. Everything happens in its own time, you know. God don't make no mistakes, man. It all happens in its own time. So anyone who finds themselves feeling like that, anyone who finds themselves in that space, you know, I challenge you to take a step back from social media, you know, really stick to the cleanse. A lot of people do a cleanse and, yeah, I'm gonna be off for 30 days and then it's 30 seconds. So, you know, try and stay away from social media. You know, let the first thing you do when you wake up is be thankful, you know, pray, say some affirmations, reflect, but don't let the first thing you do when you wake up is look at your phone. You know, that little bit of change right there, I promise you will make a huge difference in your life and how you see yourself and how you feel in the morning. Wake up and worry about you when you wake up. Don't check in to see, oh, who texts me? I got 100 notifications. Check in with you first before you check in with everybody else. Check in with you, man. I also challenge people to, you know, get out, be active, and network. You know, when you find yourself just isolating, it's going to further these feelings. Sometimes you got to get out, you got to network, you got to mingle, you got to just be around uplifting people, positive people, good energy. You know, you got to have people out there sharpening you, you know, like iron sharpens iron. You got to have people out there that sharpen you, that keep you accountable, that uplift you and help you to be a better version of yourself. You know, you should never feel inferior around your friends. You should never feel like the broke friend or the friend that's the least bit successful in the group, or the friend that doesn't. No, don't ever feel like that. And if you have friends that make you feel like that, you need to question that friendship and how much is that relationship really helping you grow. You know, you gotta surround yourself with the right people, the right sources, man, because that's a huge factor in where you go. You know, you can only go as far as you allow yourself to go, but two, the people that are around you. If I surround myself with people who constantly bring me down or aren't supportive, aren't uplifting, aren't just like-minded and evenly yoked people, I'm only going to go but so far, no matter how hard I try. You know, it's a balance of taking the action steps, loving yourself, doing it right for you, but having the right supports around you, you know? So anyone who feels like they're not where they want to be yet, who isn't feeling like they're going anywhere in life yet, you know, there's that hint of jealousy, or maybe it comes across to you as motivation, you know, and it's trying to push you to get somewhere. Understand that it's okay to not be where you want to be yet. Don't wallow in it. Don't become jealous. Don't become envious. But take the steps, you know, continue to invest in you, continue to love you, and continue to work to be the best version of yourself. You know, you got to run your race. No one else can run it for you, and you can't run someone else's race. You know, you got to run your own. So I hope that this message has been fruitful to you all. I hope that y'all really heed the advice, you know, that you really take a piece of this with you and understand that life is a journey. Everything is a journey. You know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, if you could see the end and the beginning, it's a sprint, and you can't see the end. You know the beginning because that's where you started. But on this journey, man, you got to keep going till it's done. You got to keep rocking till it's done, and don't lose the faith. Keep the faith, keep walking, keep focused, man. So until next time, I enjoy talking to y'all, man. This is Daily Dimensions, signing out.